to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
You know how sometimes what looks like sunshine quietly hides a storm? That's the kind of story we're digging into today. A story that whispers behind closed doors, tails off in social media comments, but somehow still burns bright. Teyana Taylor, Aaron Pierre, and rumors that maybe, just maybe, things are not what they seem. They say he's a manipulator. But what if that's only one corner of a much darker, more complicated truth? Picture this. Teyana Taylor, fresh from divorce, rebuilding her life, leaning into love again. Enter Aaron Pierre, actor, creative partner, someone she's spoken highly of. She has described him as gentle. She said he handles her delicately, like a cup of tea. She says being with him feels safe, like she can create without looking over her shoulder. That's powerful after years of being in turbulent waters. If you were out of your own storm, wouldn't you want calm too? But somewhere along the way, rumors start. Maybe it was a comment someone overheard. Maybe a post. Maybe something posted in passing, in DMs or gossip threads, about behavior that felt controlling. Teyana, always so commanding, always so open about her feelings. How could people start suggesting she was being manipulated? It seems unbelievable, but people talk. When someone looks like they're glowing, people want to know who's holding the light, and is that light being controlled? And so the whispers begin. What about the texts Aaron sends her? The ones that others see as sweet, protective. But what if they're possessive? What about the suggestions friends make, quietly, that maybe she's checking more with him before speaking publicly, before making decisions? It's the kind of thing that starts mild, a joke here, a meme there, and gradually builds until you wonder if it's really just rumor or something more real. Then comes the unexpected twist. Supposedly her family begins to feel that something's off. Maybe they see her changing. Maybe the energy shifts. Maybe she laughs less in family gatherings, or she doesn't post about her sisters like before. Maybe someone close notices she seems less free. Family members are usually the ones who see the small shifts, the way her posture changes, the way she didn't speak up when she usually would. Suddenly, in quiet conversations, someone mutters, "He wants to control her." Or worse, is he manipulative? That's a heavy word. It rings of psychological games, boundaries crossed, her voice being muted. Now imagine you're hearing this from people who love her, people who remember her before Aaron, the confident, fiery, unfiltered Teyana. And now you see her holding back, carefully measuring what she says, reluctant to post what she used to. Not because she doesn't want it, but because maybe someone somewhere made her wonder if she should. That shift terrifies people who love her. Meanwhile, Aaron is still being lauded in public. He's still being described by Teyana herself as gentle, as supportive. There are interviews where she says things like, "He sees my vision. He doesn't think I'm crazy." And fans love that. They want to see her happy, healed, thriving. But happiness in public doesn't always match what's happening behind the curtain. Then an internet post appears, or maybe a screenshot, where a family member's comment is leaked. Could be something small. Concern about how often Aaron replies to her posts, or how protective he seems. It might be called jealousy. It might be dismissed. But once someone's concern is on the table, people start to look harder. Did he really tell her what to wear? Did he discourage her from speaking about certain things? Did he subtly isolate her from parts of her family? These are the questions a lot of people begin to ask when they see the signs. There's a shock in all this. Because when you've seen Teyana Taylor, she's never seemed the kind of person you could silence. Her songs, her interviews, she's always been raw, always been willing to say the hard thing. But this time, if even to hint at it, maybe she's holding back. Maybe there's a fear, not just of what people will think, but of wrongfully airing private things. Maybe of being judged if she admits that someone she loves has hurt her, even unknowingly. And here's where things twist again. What if somebody close to her starts speaking up? Maybe not to the press, maybe not on Instagram, but quietly. A family member saying, "We don't trust what he says sometimes." We see her retreating. And Teyana, proud, artist, mother, partner, but also human, starts to feel torn. Because love can feel like safety. But safety can sometimes feel like control. What if this accusation, he's a manipulator, is less about heat and more about heartbreak? Not the heartbreak of being betrayed, but the heartbreak of realizing someone you trusted may be influencing your story, your way of being, more than you ever thought. And family, always fast to see the fractures, starts asking, is she still herself when she's with him? Some fans will rally to her. They'll say, don't believe the rumors. She deserves peace. She deserves someone who builds her up. Others will whisper, maybe this is what control looks like when it slowly turns into something harder to see. The world loves the fable of the victim rising, but it often forgets how slow the fall can be. Through it all, Teyana remains silent in certain spaces. No big Instagram teardowns. No full press releases. Just brief confirmations. Moments where she says, I feel safe, or he handles me with care. And those statements tear hearts in two. Are they the truth, or are they shields? Are they the soul words of someone who's found something genuinely healing, or someone who's still trying to protect what she has left? The tension builds because each new post, each new interview, feels like a test. Every time she smiles, people want to believe. Every time she doesn't, people want to ask why. It's no longer about love stories or celebrity gossip. It's about power, about who gets to shape her narrative, about whether a voice as strong as hers can be softened, muted, or replaced by someone else's words. Then comes the moment a family member speaks out more clearly. Maybe in a private group chat that leaks. Maybe a close aunt says, I'm worried she's not herself. Maybe a sibling admits they don't feel safe around Aaron when he's with her. And suddenly, the story doesn't feel speculative anymore. It feels live. It feels urgent. Here's where the surprise hits. While most were expecting the manipulator label to come from fans or tabloids, it actually emerges from inside the family. Not out of malice, they'll say, but out of love. They'll say, we just want our Teyana back. And in that plea is pain, fear, and conflict. Because love and control can masquerade as the same thing sometimes. At this point, the question is no longer whether Aaron is manipulative or not. It's whether Teyana herself believes she is being manipulated, or whether her love for peace has led her to overlook cracks, to quiet herself, to live with discomfort. Because sometimes the worst manipulation isn't yelling or controlling words. Sometimes it's the quiet insistence that you'll be okay, that it's fine, that love just works in its own way. And then, right when you think you've seen the worst, there's a new twist. Public perception starts shifting. A thread pops up. An influencer, always ready for the tea, interviews someone who claims to be a mutual friend. They say they've seen Aaron make her cancel plans without giving reasons. Or seen moments where he's critical, not in that loving way, but censoring, steering, pushing in gentle but deliberate ways. Nothing obviously abusive, just enough to seed doubt. Meanwhile, Teyana's music continues. Her shows go on. She posts beautiful photos. She praises Aaron's care. On the surface, she appears strong. But behind that, friends wonder, is she hiding something or protecting herself? Protecting the image of this new love, protecting her children, protecting the parts of her life that still feel fragile? Maybe she finally sits down, just her, a mic, and an interviewer she trusts. The smile's there, but the eyes say more. She laughs, then lets it slip. Boundaries in love. They're messy. She doesn't say his name, doesn't drop heavy accusations. But the pauses, the sighs, they hit harder than any headline. We're caught in that space, between what's said and what's swallowed. Between fear disguised as love and strength masked as silence. Maybe the real manipulation isn't him, it's the story she kept telling herself. And then comes her family. Not just present, but powerful. Not tearing her love apart, but protecting her from disappearing inside it. So now what? Does she break free, or rewrite the rules on her own terms? One thing's for sure, everyone loves a strong woman. But very few give her the space to redefine her strength when her truth changes. If she ever stops wrestling with what people see and starts demanding what she feels, that might be the most powerful moment of all. Thank you for listening to the story as it stands now, not as rumor, but as possibility. Because possibility is where the truth can begin. If you liked this, like, share, comment what you believe is really happening, and I'll keep digging, keep watching, keep telling. Because in stories like this, silence is loud, and sometimes the next word can change everything.